you saw several headlines come out. Maybe explain a little bit about why are, why is it the Bank of England, why is the UK, why is ECB seemingly taking a very different approach to this legislation versus what we're seeing here in the US?
So the way in my perspective, these represent sovereigns or different, economic spheres that, benefited off of the old offshore dollar, post World War II system that's been set up. That system is in rapid uh, transition. We'll just call it that. And they now have to compete with what the US is doing, right? So it's taken these actions, genius, clarity, etc. We've now chosen the fork in the road we're going down. And you saw it this week, their response, from key figures. Bank of England's chair, Andrew Bailey, says, hey, there's going to be a wrestle here as we get into regulation. Literally use the word wrestle. Um, King Charles the third, in his whatever annual speech to his ministers, made known his big priority to resurrect this digital ID scheme, which in my mind, you think about what's going on, they have to compete with this new iteration in the dollar from these pesky little colonies that got away. Their approach is like with digital ID, it's walled garden, right? We approve everybody into the network. We it's not an it's not quite an open architecture type of system where people freely come in or would want to adopt it. And I think all the writing is on the wall that people don't want to open adopt that type of system. You have to put up the digital ID, the sanctioning, the permissions. Really, what it's designed to is to make sure capital doesn't leave, let alone like coming in. No one's going to enter a mousetrap if they can smell it out. And then the ECB's chair, Christine Lagarde, also very large antagonist to Bitcoin over the years, as we all know. She specifically comes out and said, Euro stablecoins aren't the answer. They want to build public infrastructure instead. And this is kind of enlightening on this whole digital euro skunkworks project that you've been hinted is coming out. I've talked about it. You can listen to my thoughts on it on Marty Ben's podcast, TFTC. Did a combo with him on Tuesday morning where we get into the digital euro, what's actually going on. But this is a key tell. They don't want this to be an open architecture money. This digital euro is public infrastructure, right? What does that mean? It means regulatory capture of the rails of this whole crypto industry within their own kind of regulated jurisdiction, whatever they can police. That would include the blockchains themselves, um, the exchanges, the issuance, the redemption, all the yield seeking activity, the lending
The full
within
stack. Yep.
DeFi. Yeah. So it tells you exactly what the ECB wants and needs, and you can see the collision going on here, the difference in frameworks. Ultimately, it's going to be a decision of markets, right? It's you're going after capital that's by definition outside of your borders. And we talked about this in prior weeks, right? Once it goes to the mats and you're in, kinetics, or you're in capital wars, you're in economic wars, all of the above. Um, the only thing that matters is funding your sovereign state,
Well,
right? So as soon as your funding runs out, then you're washed and your opponent wins.
so maybe let's talk
So
about those markets. So
yeah,
here's the gilts chart, Matt. Maybe walk us through what you're seeing. And I know there's some breaking-ish news. This is even worse today.
yeah. This is yesterday. The yield chart on the 10-year. I put horizontal line just that 5% level. This is where on X, old financial Twitter, all of that, you'll see the post cropping up like highest yield since X date. So it's highest yield since 2008. Now it's highest yield since 1998. But what this is telling you is there is a funding problem on the sovereign debt curves, and you can see it. It's every sovereign debt. I know China's is the one that's not blowing out. They have a different set of economic circumstances or a problem facing them in this little knife fight of history. But this battle, like we talked about what the U.S. is doing, and then those quotes from Andrew Bailey, King Charles, Christine Lagarde. This is the arena where it's taking place, and it's sovereign debt yields.